Picture this. You're riding a bus, a form of public transportation, when you get robbed by someone wearing a mask. You try to chase after them when they jump off, get on another bus, and make their escape, stealing your wallet and making your life a lot more difficult. You contact the bus company asking to stop that bus and catch your perpetrator, and they tell you that there's nothing that they can do, and it's now your job to catch them. Now, imagine the scenario online, and instead of getting robbed, your photos are being altered by artificial intelligence to become pornographic material. This is the reality of millions of women who have experienced the manipulation of their images for inappropriate purposes, and this number will continue to grow if we don't act now. Hi, my name is Abby Nepper, and I'm currently a junior in high school. Today, I'll be discussing the policy topic of digital autonomy and survivor protection, in particular the issues of digital violence that have stemmed from a lack of legal repercussions regarding the usage of artificial intelligence. While AI usage can be innovative and beneficial, it can also be manipulated, leading to digital violence in the form of non-consensual sexual exploitation, disproportionately affecting women as a result, and there are currently few legal protections that properly address this issue. Artificial intelligence can be defined as a branch of computer science that focuses on computer programs to replicate tasks that require human intelligence. These programs are rapidly becoming widespread due to their efficiency and accessibility, along with their ability to be innovative and productive towards research, advice, data analysis, and more. While all of these effects sound positive, the speed of development has outpaced legal guidelines, leading to unclear boundaries surrounding the usage of AI and manipulation in inappropriate formats. For example, there's a lawsuit involving 3 women from Arizona who are suing a company that helps its users create AI pornographic material, which has been used to turn their Instagram photos into inappropriate content. However, they are suing under the Arizona revenge porn law because there are no bans on non-consensual deepfake material. Currently, in situations similar to this one, photographs that are posted with consent of a user are protected under the Copyright Act of 1976, which grants a person rights over the photos and digital media that they post on social media apps, as long as it is original and their own. The lines blur when AI is introduced, however, and there have been little regulations that outright ban this type of manipulation. The Digital Millennium Copyright Act, DMCA for short, was implemented in 1998 after the internet exploded in popularity and piracy became prevalent as users effectively stole digital material. The act provided content creators the ability to enforce their own copyright online through takedown notices, which requires a service provider to remove stolen or pirated content in order to avoid liability. Additionally, the DMCA protects the service provider, which can include internet providers such as Verizon or T-Mobile, or social media outlets such as Instagram or YouTube, from blame or liability for infringing content. They are protected from liability as long as they remove the content after a takedown notice, do not benefit directly from the content, or are unaware of the violation. These acts, while created before the widespread usage of AI, are crucial for evaluating the inappropriate manipulation of online materials with generative AI. Everyone can utilize and be affected by generative AI in both positive and negative ways. However, digital violence in the form of inappropriate generative reports has skyrocketed in the past 2 years, jumping from a little over 6,500 reports of generative exploitation to over 440,000 reports from 2024 to 2025, according to the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children. These generative deepfakes are considered to be a form of non-consensual abuse and violence, and women have been disproportionately targeted by these forms of violence. They tend to have negative social effect on women by reinforcing fear, insecurity, and online forms of gender inequality, creating a less safe online environment. Because of the DMCA, women who are targeted by violent generative AI through the manipulation of their own uploaded digital media become responsible for locating and reporting those who have violated their copyright. While this is meant to protect users, many individuals lack the time, resources, or opportunities to locate deepfakes of themselves and then send a takedown notice. This creates an unequal system between individuals and large corporations, where women and other marginalized groups do not have a sufficient amount of resources to protect themselves. Additionally, legal protections have been implemented, such as the DELETE Act and Executive Order N527 in California, that both work towards reducing online violence. The DELETE Act allows individuals to erase personal data that was given to data brokers to protect online privacy, and the Executive Order, published in California just a week ago, requires that AI companies practice privacy and safety measures before the states offer contracts for development. The DELETE Act is difficult to enforce due to AI training, where AI programs, similar to Pac-Man, gobble up as much online information as possible in order to predict responses. It is difficult to delete data once AI has processed it, making this act less effective. The executive order is also beneficial, but is less effective on a larger scale, since California is only one state out of 50. Additionally, Congress, which has a majority of the power when solving this issue, has only passed the Take It Down Act. While it requires service providers to take down non-consensual sexual content, it still depends on the individual for reporting these deepfakes, which can be unknown, traumatic, or time-consuming. In order to work towards solving this issue, many service providers have policies aligning with the Take It Down Act against non-consensual sexual content, such as YouTube's complete ban on sexual content and the requirement for users to identify when they have used AI for their content. While these programs can be effective, they still depend on the individual, and it can be hard to detect these violations. Additionally, each provider has a different policy regarding these types of content. Because current solutions depend too heavily on individuals and victims to find malicious content, I propose that Congress should implement an act that combines several successful aspects from previous legal protections. It will be known as the Free Takedown Monitoring Act, or FTMA. With this act, service providers will be required to implement takedown bots that act in accordance with the needs of the individual. These bots will utilize content recognition to flag potential violations that already exist on a private scale. The difference is that it will be free, public, and easily accessible. Each individual will have the opportunity to opt in or out of using these bots when they join a particular service, in order to ensure that there can still be a balance of necessary restrictions and innovative ideas. If an individual chooses to utilize these bots, they will scan their uploaded media and look for generative or manipulative AI or copyright violations regarding this media across all service providers. If something is found, the user will receive notice of it and decide whether or not they want to send a takedown notice. With this act, a balance can be created that no longer depends on the individual for constant searching for malicious content, but does not make service providers completely liable for content posted by others. Not only will these programs be required by law to provide these bots, but threatening contracts can also be an incentive, similar to the California Executive Order. This act utilizes existing legal frameworks, including the executive order, which makes implementation possible and likely successful. Because these bots would only look for content that appears similar to the information that an individual posts online, it raises a concern about media related to an individual being uploaded without consent. When there is no direct link, it makes it difficult for takedown bots to find and report these pieces of media. However, an important aspect of said takedown bots is that once media with an individual's face has been shared or uploaded, it will be able to scan and detect other forms of media with their face that seem to have been maliciously manipulated, turning that potential con into a pro. Finally, the act will require service providers to offer an opt-in program regarding the prevention of screenshots. If a user chooses to opt in, other users will be unable to screenshot their account due to a black screen that pops up, similar to Netflix's use of digital rights management to prevent piracy. This prevents others from possibly manipulating an individual's media, even if they choose to make it publicly accessible. In conclusion, this act would be a valuable step in the direction of implementing an effective AI monitoring system by providing a much-needed balance between major corporations and smaller individuals. Additionally, by detecting more inappropriate content, digital violence can be reduced, increasing levels of security and equity for women on the internet as a result, along with other marginalized communities who do not have time or sufficient resources to monitor for themselves. While other legal protections and implementations have had effective results regarding copyright, the introduction of AI has placed a strain on women, in particular with these deepfakes, meaning that if action is not taken soon, the issue could escalate even further. Stop the thief before they get away, and work with us to make everyone comfortable to ride the bus. Thank you.